Hello, Internet. I'm Insane Lane as well as Canadian Girl, and we have another body cam. This is a long one today, really long, so I might skip parts in the middle. I've seen the beginning, I've seen clips at the end, I haven't seen the entire thing all the way through, but I really think this video should have been titled, How Many Parents Can Get Arrested Because Their Kids Were Being Kids, quite frankly. But we'll get to that. Here we go.
Cool it. Let's cool it.
Warning for being Florida.
Fuck with me. Stop. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. God, get back.
I'm not standing back.
I told you to get back.
Okay, what is with the quality? Come on.
I'm not.
We're better than this.
I'm not. My hands aren't on anything.
Okay.
Do not put your hands on me.
He
That's how it
wasn't.
starts.
You back up. It does matter. It wasn't his electric bike. He doesn't own one.
So if you're driving a car and you hit somebody and run away because it's not your car, does it matter? What do you say?
Yo, what the fuck, Yo, what the fuck? Don't stand up.
What began as a call to address juveniles causing chaos at a Palm Coast Walmart took an unexpected turn when deputies encountered a far more aggressive individual.
Yeah, this is one of those, the whole thing
Flagler County deputies responded to
gets out of hand.
teens riding bikes through the aisles, yelling, cursing at customers, and setting off car alarms. After locating the group near Cypress Edge Drive, deputies began contacting parents to collect the teens. But when one parent, 34-year-old
It's the call every parent wants to get.
The situation escalated dramatically. Hi, I'm Tyler, and this is your daily dose of crime.
Okay, so we more or less have a group of teenage boys being a group of teenage boys. This looks a lot like stuff my cousins used to get up to. They lived in a very, very, very small town. And in the summer when there's nothing to do.
How old are you guys?
Not that I'm saying it's okay what they're doing.
14? Yeah. Nice.
We weren't even
Great, we're all minors.
There was no cars or anything.
This is like a cop's nightmare scenario. Not only do you have like 8 kids there, they're all minors, which means you're calling everybody's parents and nobody wants to talk to you. So I already feel bad for the cop.
Well, you're just crossing the street. That's not a crosswalk. All you guys look under 16, so that's why I'm stopping out with you.
I just got here. One of them said somebody called the cops, and I was like, bro, I just had to. He called you guys?
We'll figure it out. Give me a second.
Okay, so one of them's going, I wasn't even here. I wasn't even part of it.
215 down the tall deck.
It's hard to tell how many. They're blurring it because they're all minors.
We didn't do anything. We went right in. Andre told me you guys were over here, so I just stood over here and then.
As soon as the cops pull up, we didn't do anything. Way to tell me you're guilty.
7 juveniles on bikes.
7. Oh my god. Also, does anybody have a helmet? Anyone?
Technically, these are all violations. All right.
Yeah.
So I need your name,
Where's your
date of birth,
helmet?
all that other
Light and some kind of sound device.
stuff. I don't know yet. All right,
To be clear, that's what you need in Canada. In Canada, if you are a minor, you must be wearing a helmet. You must have a light on your bike, a rear reflector, and some kind of a horn or a bell that makes noise. And you have to know your hand signals, which is this is right. This is signaling. You always use your outside hand that's facing traffic. This is right. This is stop, and out straight means I'm going left. Also good to use in a car if your blinker isn't working or something like that.
You first.
Okay, so we're muting people's details, which is good. I've seen too many of these body cam videos where somebody gives like their whole like phone number, address, even their social, and it's not bleeped out. And it's like, what the? I'm not sure whose fault the lack of bleeping is there or blurring out people's information when it's not. I mean, I think the police department should do that before they release body cams to the channels requesting them, but also the channels should be bleeping that out themselves. I also learned that on YouTube it's impossible to report that anymore. I looked into because I saw one video where somebody did that, and I wanted to report it for doxing somebody because it did unintentionally.
For everybody.
But there doesn't seem to be a way to report that to YouTube anymore.
I only got
Okay, so now we got 2 cops there, which is probably good because there's a lot of kids.
What's your parent?
I've never been in trouble. I didn't. I just lost to go back to my house. That's where me and him were.
I mean, there's a first time for everything, isn't there?
Yeah, but I've never been in trouble. I was just going home.
Yeah, because if they were going through like Walmart and all that, there's security cameras.
We got food, came over here because they were over here, and we were right there. We were sitting under there for a little bit, riding around, not causing any harm at all. We weren't screaming. We weren't screaming. We weren't swerving cars. We weren't in the way. We were
No, we weren't doing any of that.
Everybody that tried to go, we let them go, and then we came back up. And then we came back over here because me and him were heading home. We live on the other side of town. Me and him were heading home, and that's when we got stopped. They were going home too. We were going back.
I'm believing like 10% of what this kid is saying.
From who?
That's none of your business. Multiple.
About us? About me too?
Correct. So I'm going to give you guys, listen,
Yeah.
be honest. Just be honest exactly what you did. Honesty is the best policy. If you're not honest with me, that's when things get worse. Okay?
Keep your mouth shut,
So
kid.
be honest. What were you guys doing?
I'm just told you that no. Why are we trying to lie to you?
Okay. So basically, we got done with Zaxby's. We were just eating.
What happened at Zaxby's?
We were just eating. That's all.
We're literally sitting in
What
there.
happened in the parking lot?
Nothing happened in the parking lot.
It's cute watching a group try to get their story straight at the same time.
Little ass moves. Right? We were sitting there and we were like, all right, we're done. We did a couple little moves. One around here and we told us, that's all we did.
Yeah, literally, we just came around.
Were you setting off car alarms in the parking lot?
No, we were not.
No.
That silver car alarm was going off for like 20 minutes. We went inside and said, in Zaxby's, it said, someone's car is going off outside. No one came out outside.
Okay, so they're saying we didn't do it. Car alarm was already going off. It's not.
It was a silver car.
Yeah, it was a blue car. It was a silver car.
Me and him had just pulled up.
I used to literally go check the cameras. We were not doing nothing to no cars. We were sitting in the parking lot right here.
They're probably checking some door handles.
Me and him just pulled up.
I did too. As soon as I got here, I was
And nobody was here before the cops got here, even though they were all sitting there in a group together. None of them were there. They all just got there.
You know the laws?
They can take my bike.
Sorry, I'm having fun making fun of them.
You know the laws? You know it?
Not that I blame them. I'd be doing the same thing.
So you know what I can and can't do? That's very interesting.
Yeah, some of them know they were definitely causing some mischief, but it doesn't sound like they did anything too bad. I mean, they shouldn't have been riding their bikes in the store. They shouldn't have been harassing customers. But it doesn't sound like they stole anything or like caused any damage.
Like I said, first time for everything. What's your mom's phone number?
So this should be like able to be handled with like sending them home with their parents and maybe a ticket. But it's like nothing too serious so far. Though it's annoying me that nobody is wearing a helmet. Because I'm pretty sure all of America has like minors must wear a helmet on a bike laws.
I mean, I didn't know I couldn't cross the street because I looked both ways and there wasn't a crosswalk. Pretty sure jaywalking is illegal.
What?
Pretty sure jaywalking is illegal.
We got a kid trying to play lawyer. Let me look on my phone. See if he's right. Is jaywalking a thing in Florida?
Are you guys dumb or what? Okay, so crossing the street with a bicycle, is that walking?
No.
Oh, Jay.
Oh, wow, look at that. So let's stop with all that crap, right?
I know I usually don't like it when the cops say stuff like that, but I'm making an exception, okay?
Jeremiah.
Whoa. That was somebody burning rubber.
We didn't do anything.
Okay, according to Google, jaywalking, Florida doesn't use the term jaywalking in its laws, nor does it have laws that address some of the behaviors considered jaywalking. It says jaywalking is not a criminal offense that typically leads to an arrest, and it is generally treated in Miami as a non-criminal traffic infraction. Pedestrians caught jaywalking might be cited or fined depending on the issue of the situation. It doesn't say anything about bikes, but it does say that, like, yeah, you're supposed to cross at a crosswalk when you have the right of way, don't walk against the flow of traffic. So, yeah, even if you're riding a bike or walking beside your bike, because you are supposed to get off and walk the bike anytime you're crossing the street. Actually, I don't know if that applies to Florida. It applies here. Even at a crosswalk here, you are supposed to get off the bike and walk across with the bike and then get back on. For anyone wondering why, it's because people don't always stop at a crosswalk. So if you're on a bike and you're zipping along and you just shoot out into the crosswalk, somebody might not see you and they might not have a stop sign or anything telling them to stop. Just because there's a crosswalk there doesn't mean it's a controlled one. So it's a good way to get hit on a bike if you just shoot blindly out to go from corner to corner crossing the street at a place where there is not a red light or a stop sign, or even if there is, it's still good to get off the bike and walk it across and make eye contact with drivers that are stopped or approaching so that you know that they see you.
Come on, that's more illegal than what we were doing, Bubba. You know you need to go back. He's calling me. Please. I have a question. I have a serious question. So, like, when they called in.
So now, like, finger pointing is going to start.
I'll be honest with you. They didn't say da 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 da.
Cop is just having fun with them.
What did they say?
Yeah, because now they're all just making excuses like, oh, we weren't really doing anything.
It's very simple.
We're being targeted because we're kids.
To not get in trouble.
Okay.
Just listen.
We all weren't doing
Just use
anything.
your brains for a minute. Does this look like a place to go riding around on a bicycle? Crossing the street, doing all that stuff, going through the parking lot on bicycles and stuff. There's parks. I heard somebody was in the I hear somebody lives in the B section, right? Somebody lives what? B. There's a park by the P section too.
I'm not sure what these sections are.
That you guys can do that is, one, significantly safer, all right, and two, is made for exactly what you guys are doing.
This is literally a retirement town. It's nothing to do with it.
Okay, then you're gonna
There we go.
You're gonna get a lot more tickets.
Small town, nothing to do.
I'm trying to give you some education so you could
But,
stay
yeah.
out of trouble.
I get the kid's point. Like I said, my cousins grew up in this same situation, small town, nothing to do, didn't even have its own movie theater. That's how small. So, yeah, the kids, especially in the summer, the groups of boys like this, I've seen it. And yeah, they wind up getting in trouble because there's nothing to do. Not that makes these kids right, and I totally get why if they're like doing circles, doing stunts and stuff, running across the road and in parking lots, yeah, people are gonna call on them because they're like, these kids are gonna get themselves hit by a car. And that's what it is. These kids are somebody's gonna get flipping hit by a car or something, or somebody's gonna back into them in a parking lot because they don't see them, and then it's a whole other situation. And also, if they were riding their bikes in the stores, which I believe it said that they were, and they were like harassing customers, being loud and stuff, yeah, stores ain't gonna put up with that. And your parents aren't going to be too happy. Though, we'll get to the parents. We're getting there.
So
I'm trying to get through this quickly. I'm trying not to pause too much because it's long.
Look, these guys don't want to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Some of these kids are smart.
Obviously, these guys don't want to be in trouble. They don't want to get in trouble by their parents.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be grounded, XYZ. Listen, if that's what you want to do and you want
the ones keeping their mouths shut are the smart ones.
We're going to be called and we're going to take care of it. All right? So it's up to you. I'm giving you advice on how not to get in trouble. Okay? So listen. No. So you guys are young. You haven't seen it. See, you saw right there, this cop car right here with lights, cops, and that guy still did that, right?
That's not my fault.
No, listen. Okay, God gave
He's
you,
making a
listen,
point.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen twice as more than you speak. Be quiet.
Click the like button if you heard that growing up.
People fly around here everywhere. Okay, they're not prepared for kids to start riding across the street in hordes. All right, it doesn't make their action any better. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't see you, you're gonna be dead on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's no joke. So you may think it's funny, you may think it's harmless, this and that, but there's only one person's action in this world that you can control, it's your own. You can't control the other kids. You can only control yours. You can't control a motorist. Okay? So that's the whole point of this.
I know I'm not usually a fan of lectures, but these kids need to hear it. Not that I expect them to take it in.
Listen, if you're on the sidewalk, riding on the sidewalk, you're abiding by the laws, you're wearing a helmet, all that stuff. Listen, you guys are old enough now, all right, to know what you should and shouldn't be doing. If you're riding a bicycle, you should know what you're legally required to have on your bicycle or your person to ride around. All right, you're coming to the age where consequences are going to become something that you can't overlook. All right, for little kids, it's okay. Little kids, they don't understand consequences. They don't know what they're required to do.
Yeah,
Listen,
but you guys are
all old enough,
14,
you can read,
15.
you can use your Google. You can
You're
make
going to be
decisions and
driving
all that stuff.
in a
You
year or
guys are gonna
so.
be working soon. You'll be going to college soon. You may think it's a long way away, but trust me, you guys are right there. You'll be driving cars. You'll
Yep.
be voting. You'll be doing all that stuff relatively soon. So you guys got to start making good decisions for yourselves. Oh, listen.
Okay, somebody. It's
It's
okay. It's very hard for me to tell who is speaking because all the kids' faces are blurred. I think the two that are speaking are the two in the middle in the white shirts, the one that's on the back of the bike and the one that's holding the green bike. It sounds like only those two or one of those two is having a bit of an attitude. I'm going to guess that that's the oldest of the group. That's usually the one that's trying to be the alpha dog of the pack. You know, wants to save face in front of his boys. Though I will say, kid sitting on the yellow bike and kid in the black shirt that I don't think has spoken are probably the two smartest there because they're just like keeping their mouths shut. And the cop is right. They don't want to get in trouble. One of them wants to try and show he's tough a little bit. And as I said, not usually a fan of lectures, but I am perfectly fine with it here because they do need to be told that what they're doing was incredibly unsafe. Now, do I expect that this group is going to take a lot of this in? Probably not, if I'm honest. But someday they will remember being told it. And if it keeps one of them, you know, from doing something equally stupid, then it's worth it. I object to lecturing adults because adults are grown. They've heard it. They know. The other kids, they haven't heard it. They don't know anything. But they think they do, and that's where the problems start. So they're probably not going to hear any of this today, but they'll hear it later on. So I'm okay with it today because, yeah, kids are the ones you need to tell these things to.
and making my decision from there. You all might get tickets. You all might not. It depends.
How long is this going to take?
As long as it takes.
Yep.
Looking up the information. Listen, I'm pretty chill. But at the end of the day, if something needs to be done in here, if someone didn't call it. So somebody called it, and I see the violations, and I see you guys' attitudes, so I got to do something. Listen, I take everything into account.
They probably could have got off with a warning if like one of them wasn't trying to act tough.
No.
Okay, for anyone who didn't catch that, the kid said, because you're like a chill cop, could you like put me in handcuffs just for a photo? Which the cop said no. I'm laughing at the fallacy of the generation. You're talking to a cop. They're about to call your parents. You could be facing hundreds of dollars in fines that you can't pay because you're 14. Parents are not going to like that either. And your thought is, can I get a cool shot for my Insta? Oh. These are the things that make me despair at the world. Oh my God. Though part of me admires him trying to seize the moment.
Just hang out here. I'll be right back. If you guys leave, it's a felony.
It's true.
No more warnings. Everybody get one.
Is this one get a ticket?
Oh yeah, everybody get a ticket.
How many of y'all there? I remember you. Everybody.
Oh,
What's your name?
so one or two of them have been
What's your name?
contacted by police before.
I know. I want to ask him. If he gives me a false name, he's going to jail. Hey,
Okay.
anybody give me a fake name, fake phone number, fake anything, go to jail.
Okay, so this, I believe, is a different officer, because I think there's like 3 or 4 on the scene now. So I think this is a different officer than before. Hold on, let me see if the body cam number like changed. Where are we? Okay, I'm marking where we are. Hold on. Yes, it did. Okay, yeah. So this is a different officer, and this guy's being a hard ass, because he's instantly like, everybody's getting at least 1 ticket, and he's laying the law on them, like, nobody give me a false name or false ID or like lie to me about your parents and stuff like that. And at least one of the others is like, I know you, and like one of the others. So some of these, maybe that's the ones with the attitude. They've had contact with the police before. That's why they're being a little mouthy. But yeah, apparently one officer has arrived on the scene and said, nobody's getting away with a warning anymore. I generally don't like that. I don't like somebody, because this guy's coming in like 3rd or 4th, and maybe he's the sergeant, maybe he's the guy in charge, so that's why he's taking that authoritative stance. But I don't like somebody coming in after and just saying like, okay, I'm deciding that everybody is getting a ticket. Not saying they don't deserve it, because they do. But I'm just not a fan of this order of events.
What's your name? I know him. I know. I want to ask him. If he gives me a false name, he's going to jail.
I'm also seeing 2 different uniforms.
Give me a fake name, fake phone number, fake anything, go to jail. Understand?
So I think we have 2 different
Get up. Come over here.
police departments.
You know me well.
I do know you very well.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't arrest you, but
Oh.
I think no, yeah.
So he's been arrested before. That's why he's safe running his mouth.
What's it called? The
West part.
what's the badge number? No, the camera.
what time do they need lights on their bikes? After sunset. But they all. How old are you? How old are you? You. I just saw him a few minutes ago, so he's gonna be good. I talked to him over there. He was respecting all that good stuff. My bad, man. I thought you were one of these delinquents. All right, what's your name?
Okay, so I'm starting to see a split here, because I'm seeing 2 different police uniforms. One is the dark blue; those were the first officers, but now we have these green uniforms, which is it has to be a different department. They have different patches and insignia. So now we have 2 different police departments. I'm wondering why we have 2. Why is multiple police agencies handling this? I don't understand. But I don't like that the one cop just described these 4 boys as delinquents. Now, obviously, he has interacted with at least one of them before, and one of them said, "Didn't you arrest me before?" So I have no doubt these, maybe these 4, or at least 2 of them, have gotten in some trouble. Big ups to the officer in green. Big points to him for going to the other guy and saying, hey, that one over there, he's been respectful, he's been cool, so he gets a warning. And that's where we're going to leave it. And this cop did back down. He was like, okay, I didn't know. I thought he was one of these delinquents, which I'm not a fan of the phrasing. You shouldn't do that, because you're separating and singling them out, and you're assuming just because they've done bad in the past that they're at fault here, even though it sounds like they absolutely were. I'm not saying they're innocent. They're not. I'm saying I don't like the cops' use of language, and more and more, I'm not liking the level of aggression he's coming in with, because it just doesn't seem necessary. Like, all the teenagers are being pretty chill. They're not accused of anything serious. So, and I really would like to know why are there 2 police departments handling this? I don't understand. Like, I know Florida's weird, but I don't get this. And I don't like any situation where, because somebody has a past history with the police or with this particular cop, which one of them does, they're getting punished more harshly in the now than they would. Either if, say, another cop had come that they didn't know, or if they didn't have prior minor run-ins. I'm not a fan of punishing someone more harshly on something like this, just because this cop has run into them before. And it's like, oh, I have to deal with you again? Well, then I'm gonna punish you more harshly than maybe I would or I should if I hadn't, had to arrest you before. I'm not okay with that. because that's where we get into like bad judgment and things getting personal, and that's not justice.
James, these ones for sure. These three definitely. He lied to me one time.
I didn't lie to you.
Back in the day, this guy.
When did I lie to you? When did I lie to you?
James, come over here.
Okay, also not a fan of saying he lied to me, and then you have to amend with back in the day, as in not right now, because you clearly made it sound like it was today.
Well, you guys are talking to someone was hit by a car apparently.
I got hit by a car. Yeah, he got hit by a car. I got hit by a car. Yeah.
You learn your lessons?
Apparently not.
He ran a red light. The person ran a red light. Yeah, that was different. Yeah.
I don't know.
They were speeding too. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the kid just proved my point. He was on his bike and he got hit by somebody who ran a red light. That's why you stop at the corners. It's annoying to have to do, I admit it, but it's safer. Don't assume that people on the road are good drivers. They're not.
He didn't get hit by.
Do we have names already?
Yeah. Yeah, they got names.
You got everyone's name?
Yeah. All right. Can I just speak my word? Okay.
You can speak it. I might not listen.
Okay.
It's fair.
I got a light. I got everything.
You might gotta tow this thing.
What?
You might have to tow it.
Basically, this guy says that.
Why are you going to tow their bikes?
Yeah, you always cause issues. Breaking stuff. You laughing at your friends. Disrespectful. Tell that part. Disrespectful too.
Okay, so I think the kid's on with his parents.
I'm gonna be. I know. We've had some rough times in our patches.
You always cause issues. You terrorize the community.
Okay, really not a fan of this cop.
Right now for the thing. I'm going to.
That's one.
You want?
What about every time we get called about you guys over here? Always at Lowe's. Always over here. Come here.
I'm gonna. Wait. What are you? Actually, you know what? Next time I see you, I'll be like, look, I won the court. I'm gonna take a picture of me winning court. I'm gonna show
If
you.
you go to you pass court, I really don't care about that case. To be honest with you, that ain't my case.
I know. I got blamed.
My issue is that we're getting called about you guys every single day, whether it's you guys or your friends or whatever. Always causing.
Okay, whoa. Now I'm really not liking this cop because he just said whether it's you or your friends or you guys, somebody's causing issues. Well, yes, officer, I'm sure you get calls about annoying teenagers every day. You live in a small town with nothing to do. Is it probably these guys a lot of the time? Probably. Or some combination of the group of them? Probably. Do you know that it's this kid every time? And are you blaming him for things that, like, he maybe wasn't involved in or just for teenagers being teenagers in general? Yeah, you kind of are right now, and I'm not here for it. Like, this cop clearly has had a past with at least two of these kids, and he's just decided that they're bad kids, and now he's treating them like it, when really, like, this is not necessary. This is a cop coming in late in this interaction. He's now escalating things. He's making, like, borderline accusations about other things. He's bringing up other cases that don't matter right now. Like, everything was going smooth, but he's rolling up with an attitude, and he's getting attitude back. Big shock. Like, this is how things start to get out of control. The first two cops, completely chill. I'm 100% on their side. The other cop in the beard that stood up for the one kid, on his side. This cop, I'm definitely lowering his grade because he's raising issues that don't need to come up right now. This is not relevant. Everything was chill until you got here. So, right now, you are being the problem.
Called me guys, always cursing at people, always going up in the stores, causing issues. Never helmets on your bikes. I've warned you guys umpteen times.
I need a helmet.
Yeah, you do. How old are you? Yeah.
My helmet broke.
Y'all know that kid just got killed?
Oh yeah, with the semi truck. Yeah. Yeah.
No, he was riding one of these e-bikes and not paying attention, zooming across the street.
Yep.
I presume he wasn't wearing a helmet.
No, my helmet broke. The other day my helmet broke. I need to buy it.
Well, then you need to buy a new one before you go out.
He's the one that, remember we arrested him and he was curtain.
Your parents coming? Call them and tell them to come. You ain't free to leave until they get here. Yeah, you come over here now.
Jeremiah, you too, over here. You can sit down. If you call him to come, who's that, mom? Dad?
Okay, the cops have been here over 20 minutes. Haven't they called anyone's parents? So why aren't they just...
They're good. Did you deal with them today? No.
Okay, so it looks like 2 of them. They're like, you're good. You're getting off with a warning.
Not done with your warnings and whatever else. Oh yeah,
But
I'm not.
There's still like confusion between these 2
You
agencies.
have his parents' names and info and all that rigmarole. Oh.
Like, I'm not clear who's in charge right now.
What's your name?
I already did that.
I don't care. What's your name?
Wait, so about before, what's happening now? Do I like? Cause I don't know what's the thing. Cause
Yeah, if I was these 3, I'd be so confused because literally they've been told they're getting off with a warning. They've been told they're getting a ticket. Then they were told a warning again. They're told to call their parents. Then they're told we're going to call your parents. I'd be hella confused if I'm these 3 kids. I feel bad for them. Somebody just needs to tell them, like, go to the end of the block and wait for your parents, but I'm going to be watching. Don't leave without your parents. But you're out of it. You can go, kind of thing. Like, we need to start downsizing the situation.
Gotten in trouble since
Well, you guys, for one, you guys can't be riding without helmets. But we get calls about
That's true.
Whether or not it's you guys or what, or these guys, or you guys are all together, or your other friends that are not here right now. But every single day we get calls about you guys on these bikes, riding in these stores, riding out around the stores, in the stores, places like that. You guys can't be doing that. Because the more times we get called out here, then you're going to start getting tickets. You understand that part?
But you already know about my helmet thing.
And we already had a get killed last week.
Yeah.
17, 16, how old he was.
I think he was
Riding one of these bikes. Yes, an electric bike. I hit by a dump truck. Dead. Yes, guys, stop being stupid. Not saying it's you guys, but we're not saying he was doing anything stupid, but that's what happens. Which bike is your bike? This one? Which bike is your bike? This one? This one?
We've been getting calls for the last 2.5 hours about children riding around the city of Palm Coast in various areas, causing disturbances. And we're at this point, we're done giving warnings, and we're not playing around anymore. Every time we do, they slap us in the face, and they do it again 10 minutes later. It's wasting our time. We have better stuff to do. We have shootings going on. We have suicides going on. And I'm stuck here with 5 unruly children that want to cause disturbances. So they're all getting citations for no helmets on their bicycles. You're welcome to come here and get them. If not, he's going to ride home. Do you have any questions about that?
Okay, so it sounds like the cop is now talking to somebody's parent. I get why he's wanting to, take the hard line here. And he's saying he's only going to give him a ticket for no helmet, which is completely fair. They deserve it. I still don't like the attitude in general. That's me. And I don't like that 3 of the kids were told twice that they're going to get off with a warning, and now they've been told twice only by this officer that he's insisting on giving them a ticket just to make a point. Again, he is in the right and they should be wearing helmets, but he's not doing it for that reason, and he's making that abundantly clear. And also, I'm not a fan of the guilt trip of saying, like, we have shootings and we have unalivings to deal with. Don't lay that on a bunch of kids, dude. Don't go there. That's not fair. That's nothing to do with them. I know that you feel they're annoying and they're wasting your time because they're up to these antics every day. But don't go there. Please don't do that. It doesn't help anything, and it's just not an okay tactic. Okay, so what? Are you not allowed to have like a fake license plate on your bike?
Never. I might. You almost made change my mind on that plate, bird.
Like, I really don't understand what the problem is.
Just so you guys know, if you guys ever get stopped and you guys run on these bikes, that's a felony clean alert.
That was Malcolm.
Who said what?
What do you say? Why do you feel that you want to kill and shoot yourself?
What?
Get up.
Okay, what is going on?
No, what the fuck,
Okay, I want to know what's going on. I also want to see this guy's patch so I can figure out what agency they are. Whoa. Okay, so that's sheriff. It says something above sheriff. Sheriff Flagler County.
Under a Baker Act.
Bro, I told you not to say that shit, bro. Don't say dumb shit.
Okay, I'm going to point out they're saying this kid said something about harming himself. So now they're arresting him under the Baker Act, which in Florida and some other states, when you put someone on a psychiatric hold, it's called the Baker Act. It's also called being 5150'd. It's called a few other things in different states. I don't know exactly what we call it here. I've heard the term Section 8 as well. Also, just the general term psych hold. I think that's what we call it here. But I am going to point out this was the kid that previously asked the cop to put him in handcuffs so he could take a photo. So I hope he was just saying dumb things to get cuffs put on him because he thinks it'll be funny or something. But his friends are saying, like, I told you not to say that stuff, because the friends, like, know what'll happen or they have some idea. But yeah, now these are, I will say, the cops in the green are extremely, like, no nonsense. So yeah, let's see if this goes all the way or not.
Well, we're gonna get him some help, so we'll figure out why he did it.
Bro, why would you do that, bro? You know you're not for real. Come on.
Okay, it sounds like he's genuinely upset.
Okay, this off.
Yeah, just check the bag. Just check the bag. It's just cologne.
What's in it?
It's just cologne. Check the bag.
What's going on with stand up, Malachi? What's wrong, man?
Like, bro.
What's wrong with you?
I can't no more, bro.
What's that?
Bro.
Is it double lock?
Okay, so he's having like a teenage meltdown.
Yo, the reason you're getting a citation, but the reason why is because you know why, right? We keep getting calls about you guys, and we gotta hold you guys accountable somewhere.
I know, but
So saying you want to, I mean, regardless, we gotta get you some help. But saying you want to hurt yourself,
I'm fucking dying, bro.
what is going on that caused you to say that?
Bro, it's not fast nothing, bro. You just, all y'all just say, it's just y'all, bro.
What's that?
It's just y'all, bro.
Us? We got calls here.
I know, but y'all just say, get tickets. I know you're for sure getting a ticket. I'm trying to keep my calm, but like, bro, I just can't no more. I fucking can't.
He's just struggling emotionally, and he's saying like random.
All right, take a deep breath. You're not going to jail. Are you on
Yeah,
probation?
I've seen adults
You're not. I mean, I don't know if you
do
are
the
now,
same. That
believing that you are.
when
not,
they get arrested,
you're not
they
going
start
to jail right now.
saying all kind of
You're
things.
just sitting here as we write you your tickets, man. That's it. Nobody is gonna hurt you. Nobody. We have to take you to a hospital now, but like, you're not in any trouble or anything.
No, I'm just scared of y'all, bro. It's happened before, man. Y'all put your guns on me, and I just
Pulled what?
y'all put your guns on me, bro.
Why?
Before.
Did something occur?
Because it's because my bike. It's happened really everywhere.
So we've been out with you for like a half hour now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish my thing. You just make sure it doesn't like.
Yeah, go ahead. There's nothing in there.
What's in it? Nothing.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this kid is freaking out now. Like maybe the thought of how much trouble he's gonna get in with his parents.
We got called on you guys. How many times is that?
I don't know. But I came out solo. I came here just to go and get some t-shirts and that all.
Oh, so I can start.
All right.
Jeremiah.
All right, I'll do Malachi and Aiden then. So we're gonna have to call your parents and let them know that you're gonna be Baker acted, okay? Have you ever been Baker acted before?
No.
All right. So what that means is we're gonna take you down to a hospital. You got to talk to a medical professional.
I don't need the hospital, bro.
What do you need?
Honestly, I just need to stop riding bikes, bro. That's all I need to do.
Well, then you could talk to someone about that, but at the very least, we have to grant you that opportunity because you just made it.
Yeah, he's a minor.
Murder that we're gonna kill yourself or shoot yourself or whatever.
And so yeah, they have like no choice.
Allow you to just ride out to the sunset and risk you doing.
They have like no discretion on this. He's going to the hospital one way or the other.
Is all of them in there?
I was working on it. I got 3 in there so far, I think, and their parents. No parents have been contacted yet. But
those ones sitting down has.
Okay, I am saying like, why have no parents been contacted by the police? Because at least 3 of the kids have already been on the phone to their parents. Their parents are on the way.
All right, mom's calling.
Oh, yep, here's mom.
Mind if I open it?
Hey,
Call
what's
mom.
your middle name?
Hey, good evening, man. This is Deputies Sandwich Fire County.
Okay, so we've got two counties. Some are Flagler County, some are Fire County. They must be like right on the
We're
border.
working on it. We got 7 kids here, so just so you know, he's physically okay. Just thought that one. I mean, there were some trespassing issues and several calls on them and things they were doing. But long story short, we're working on documenting them, and some tickets are being issued and such. During that, your son made some concerning statements. So at this time,
This is what every parent wants to hear.
As of a couple minutes ago.
Are you dead?
All right, now we got parents starting to arrive.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna be getting a ticket for riding a bike without a helmet. I've probably stopped him at least 5 times myself personally. I've been warned him every single time about that, and I believe I've given him a citation before for that already. So
he's the one to give you the same citation with the helmet.
Yep.
So there's nothing better else to do in fucking Palm Coast than fuck with kids on bikes.
Here we go.
Or
I'm not trying to be rude.
Okay, but you are being rude. Okay, I'm gonna say these kids could be getting in trouble for a lot more. Do I think that would be overkill? Yes. Do I think they deserve at least a ticket for the no helmet? Yes. They're getting off extremely light with everything that they did and all the bike violations that they all have. And also, we've now heard at least 2 of the cops absolutely confirm that all these kids have been warned before. They've all been warned before. He's even saying one of them got a ticket before. You're still not wearing a helmet. How much is the ticket? Because I guarantee you, it's a lot more than the cost of a helmet. And parents, you are not off the hook here. You know your kid's going out riding all day, every day. Why aren't you making them wear a helmet? And if they don't, guess what? The next morning, the tires are off their bike and they get it back when they agree to wear a helmet and they actually do it. That's called parenting. So, well, I understand you can say, don't the cops have anything better to do than write tickets to kids on bikes? At this moment, no. One, they don't, apparently, because 4 of them are able to be here for a very long time. But, dude, your kid is in the wrong. Don't make excuses for your kid being in the wrong.
It's becoming a fucking problem because these kids have nothing to do. They ride their bike.
well, that's fine, but when they're causing issues, we
I
have called
admit
up them.
they have
every
nothing to
single-
do.
They're causing.
I don't know. It has your
So
son.
we need to
How about you talk to your son at home when he's gotten citations already for the fact and figure out what he's doing? How many times has he been stopped? I've stopped him more than once myself. Okay, well, we get calls every
So
single
what?
day about him. That's why I get a citation. We may or may not have something better to do, but I'm telling you, sir, when you say to me if I got something better to do, no, I don't. I got this to do right here. Because they bother people in the community every single day.
I'm sorry. My son, right, got a helmet.
Yeah, and I get another one for $64. All right.
You can get a very nice helmet for $64.
That's not the way it works.
Oh, great.
When
Do-
your son
do you know what it
tells law
is,
enforcement that
ma'am?
he's gonna kill himself or shoot himself, we place him under a base arrest. It's Jonathan, right? Jonathan, do we need to be concerned for your welfare?
So now, like, somebody in the background is shouting the same things, like another kid or, like, brother, maybe?
It is a non-criminal thing. It's a law enforcement baser act. It's where he goes to speak to a mental health professional for evaluation.
Mom is sounding like she's heard this before.
You wouldn't have talked to him and harassed him and pressured him. He never would have said any of that.
Okay, I'm thinking this is mom and dad on the phone. And mom is trying to pull but he's a minor. I'm going to bring a lawyer. You can't Baker Act him. It sounds like she knows what it is, or at least has some idea. There could be about a billion reasons for that, not necessarily having to do with the kid. I think it's the dad that was shouting before, saying the same stuff the kid did. But now he's like yelling at the cops saying, well, if you didn't harass and intimidate and pressure my son, he wouldn't have said those things. That may be true. The kid was in a stressful situation. And he is a kid. So emotions get crazy. He gets upset. You start thinking, my life is over kind of things, or like, I'm going to be in so much trouble and I'm going to be grounded for the rest of the summer and blah, blah, blah. And you say, things you shouldn't. I can give a kid a pass for that. Not that I wouldn't still take him to the hospital out of an overabundance of caution and get him to talk to somebody because, it's a little sus. I don't mean suspicious sus. I mean, it's something you shouldn't let go lightly. So, yes, I agree with him being taken to talk to somebody. Mom needs to chill and just accept that is the situation. There's nothing your lawyer can do about it. And dad needs to just chill in general because he's clearly incredibly heated. And again, we have parents just completely hand-waving their child's behavior and blaming the cops. Not the cops' fault. Not this time.
The only reason he said anything is because you harassed him.
No one said anything to him at the time he said that, actually.
No, he was sitting by himself talking to his friends. Okay, that is better than a door slam.
It does matter. It wasn't his electric bike. He doesn't own one.
Okay, hold on. So that is better than a door slam of the cops, or the dad saying, "You're going to listen to me," and the cops hangs up. I'm okay with it. I'm very okay with that. And now we have this guy still defending his kid about the other ticket that he got.
If you're driving a car and you hit somebody and run away because it's not your car, does it matter? No.
That has nothing to do.
He committed a traffic
He's on a bike.
He's on a bicycle. And
Right, a bicycle.
Can I explain the Florida law?
You still have to follow rules on a bike.
Helmet if he's under the age of 15, which he is. So he's in violation of Florida law. Whether the bicycle is his, yours, or mine, it does not matter.
Right out here with
Correct.
bike.
And generally, I do not care if you ride the bike without a helmet. I don't care.
Okay.
However, the issue lies when we get calls here 4 or 5 times throughout the day. We have shootings going on. We have fights going on. We have suicides. And I'm stuck here with unruly kids that want to cause disturbances, block traffic.
Okay, now you're both in the wrong.
You think I want to be here with a bunch of kids? Do you think I want to be here right now?
If you go to the Wawa,
You're both in the wrong. Just ignore each other.
Go ahead. We're going to issue the citation.
Okay. Dad in the tiger shirt is wrong for saying because it wasn't his kid's bike or he was on a bike that you can't give him a ticket. Dad is completely wrong. Cop is in the wrong for, again, saying the "we have better things to be dealing with" line. And for the "I don't care about your kid" line. Like, dude, you're not helping by saying any of this, especially with the person that you're saying it to. And you're not helping your own point. Like, I know what point the cop thinks that he's making, but he's not. And, like, this is not a way to help anything, so just don't.
His parents are on the way. Very irate. Gonna be an issue, and Dad also said that he wants to kill himself.
Okay, that is being a stretch because yes, the dad said about the same things. Good for warning the other cop to watch out behind you.
Let's get him in the back for now.
And as for the dad saying those things, like, he was obviously saying them out of like being upset, etc. So
calm down. Cool it.
Okay. Points to them for trying to put the kid in the car before the dad got there. I'm 100% with it because, yeah, that's going to be a problem because this guy's literally running up hot.
Cool. Hey, don't fuck with me. I didn't do nothing.
He didn't.
I didn't do.
Okay, wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna. I want to see that in full.
Let's get him in the back for now. That way we don't.
Yeah, put the kid in the back with the dad running up because, yeah.
Yo, calm down.
Okay, he's literally running up.
Don't fuck with me.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing.
That's the quickest arrest I've seen in a minute. Okay, so now mom.
He's not even doing anything.
Okay, this has to be mom. So we have dad gets out of the car, runs up to the cop, clearly very, shall we say, irate. Did he grab the cop? Kinda, no. It's 50-50 because the guy had his hands like this, but the cop was like putting his hand out to like tell him to stay back. So whether the cop hit his hand or he grabbed the cop's hand, I'm not clear. I do think they didn't have to immediately go, you're under arrest. I get why they did because the guy was coming in hot, but you could have just been like, okay, let's both like put our hands like this. We're both going to stop, take a breath, try to talk to each other. I would have appreciated at least an attempt at communication because I really don't think the dad like grabbed the cop or that it was enough to immediately go to this in literally 2 seconds. Now, I understand mom being irate right now because they just pulled up. She doesn't know what's going on. She didn't see the dad have the interaction with the cops. She doesn't know what's going on. She just knows her husband's on the ground being arrested and they just got here. So, yeah, I get that she's a little upset right now.
Hey,
Get back.
no, I'm not getting back.
Please take me off my back. I'm cooperative.
You're under arrest.
I'm cooperative. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, you're cutting me, bro.
You're trying. Next time, don't resist.
I didn't resist. He put his hands on me.
Yeah, he did.
I was talking to him.
No, I don't think he
I
did.
asked him, I said, whoa. Calm down.
Just shut up, dude. You double lock.
Yeah, really not a fan of that cop.
Standing back.
I told you to get back. You want to end up like him? Get back.
I'm not resisting. I'm
Get
not.
back.
My hands aren't on anything. Do not put your hands on me. That's how it starts.
You back up. Y'all back up. This is investigation.
What am I gonna do? And what are you gonna do to me?
Okay, part of the problem here is I think the cops are not clear on who is in charge here. Because you got cops from 2 different counties. So I'm not sure who's in charge because this is about the 5th time that I have heard one cop say something and then another cop contradict them and the first cop is deferring to the second cop. So I don't know who is in charge, who's outranking who has control of this scene, whose scene is it right now? I have no idea. I'm not saying these parents aren't being problems because they are. The parents are being worse than the kids. Absolutely. But these cops are not helping by being such a disorganized mess and clearly not having a clue themselves as to who is in charge and who's making the calls here. Because, yeah, she's not doing anything. Okay? She's just standing there. Ignore her. She's not bothering anything.
Sir, can you take your hand out of your pocket? Thank you.
Okay, so now we got somebody else arriving. Probably another parent.
We got parents coming after us, that's why.
I don't think that guy came after you, officer. I think you decided you were going to arrest him anyway. Like, should the dad have been cool and, like, just walked up calmly? Yes. Do I think he needed to be arrested? No. Do I think the cop had decided he was going to arrest him before he got there? Yes.
To my wife. Yeah, that's the key hanging out of my pocket.
You're going to jail for battery on law enforcement.
I'm going to jail for battery? Who's got a body cam? You got a body cam? Did you see it? Why did he put his hands out at me at first? I was talking to him.
You approached him in an aggressive manner.
So what? That's not battery.
Because I saw him putting my kid in handcuffs in the back of the car, so I wanted to talk to him.
We explained to you over the phone what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
You can't arrest someone for running up to you.
I haven't ate. I'm pretty freaking pissed about all this.
I'm no doubt.
Loosen it up now.
Just a couple minutes. We got a lot to do.
The left one.
You don't have to wait, bro. We got a lot going on.
Oh, God, I know. I'll wait.
Stop walking behind, man. You can stay back. You can come back over by your car. It's his head. We'll go with him.
That's my husband.
That's
I
nice.
can take his hat. The hat's not going to go with him to wherever you guys are planning to take him.
It is.
Okay, officer, do you really need to argue over a flippin' hat? Like, again, this is making your own problems.
Ridiculous for a bunch of
I agree.
kids.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of documentation. Don't you worry about that, sir.
On what?
I said there will be plenty of documentation. Don't worry about that.
Please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Without warning, Harrington approaches a deputy and shoves him. As officers attempt to detain him, he resists aggressively, striking one deputy on the hand and attempting to
All right.
evade arrest. Despite
Let's
being given
see.
multiple commands to comply, Harrington's behavior grows more erratic.
I'm not sure who
culminating in a
Harrington
brief but
is. If
intense
it's her,
struggle
we'll
before
see.
Deputies finally secure him.
No, they said him. So
They're always on top of them. Like they fucking can't even fucking.
Where's crime? They're messing with kids.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
okay, I've yet to hear one parent admit that their kid did anything wrong.
Yeah, we're working on it.
You're not
I
working
appreciate
very
you guys
fast.
being cooperative at least. Yeah.
I mean, no one was being fed up cooperative. Right. No one was being
You're fed up with it?
Right.
Tell your kids to follow the laws.
They still gotta be kids.
Okay.
I know.
And you guys got to be parents.
Yeah.
Like my son got a ticket on a fucking bike that wasn't his.
So what? It doesn't matter that it's not his.
Fucking bike. Because the cop brought it up first. Okay, just be quiet, please. Please. I know.
Like, again, the kids are being the calmest people here.
I agree.
Like, it was like, just moving back. Oh, let's talk about
I agree. You see how we're talking? That's how an exchange should go.
That's his son.
Okay.
Okay, his son
Right, and
in
so
the
he's
fucking
sitting
handcuffs.
outside the vehicle when we pull up. and
But
he's
running
like,
up and
fucking
grabbing
man.
cops is not the way to go about it. Really? Because he grabbed my hand.
You put your hand into his hand
I
as much
said
as he
get back,
grabbed
and
you.
He grabbed me.
No, you
Like-
pointed your finger at him. You act like that's not aggressive.
I'm giving that a
Running up
50-50.
on law enforcement is aggressive.
Our child was
Yeah.
outside the vehicle when
Running
we
up,
pulled and when we
I
pulled
admit,
up,
he
he's
should have
like,
walked up calm because cops are known to be paranoid.
And he's a minor. So you guys should have talked to the parents first
Exactly.
before you put him in the fucking cop car. That's how you
We did on the phone, and they were yelling at us, and we had some other
He
issues.
didn't call his parents.
Well,
I
I'm not-
called my parents. What are you
We're talking about them and only them.
You didn't even call the parents. You didn't even put him under arrest or whatever. Any safety net. You didn't notify the parents. I had to call my child because I.
Yeah, this is where I'm getting confused because from the get, the cops were saying they were calling everyone's parents and getting everyone's names. And then like 30 minutes has gone by and apparently the cops have not contacted anybody's parents. She got it from another parent because some of the kids called their parents to say, "Hey, I'm in trouble and this is where I am." So the cops still have not called anyone's parents. Like, that is what I'm going like, why? Because the cops had more than enough time to contact these parents. And that's what they kept saying at the beginning they were doing. And yet it seems even now, the police have not actually contacted anyone's parents. Yes, they spoke to these parents on the phone, but that was because she was calling her son because another parent called her and said, "My kid's in trouble and your kid is with them." So she was calling her son and that's how she talked to the cops. But still, 4 cops are there. It's been, I don't know how long, because this video has jumps in it. It's getting dark now, so it's been a significant amount of time. And it's like, no, the police officers, you didn't actually call anyone's parents yourselves. So I'm asking questions about that. I really am. Like, what were you up to that you couldn't call anyone's parents? There's 4 of you there. But, like, I get that she's upset, but this whole thing is getting, like, worse the more it goes on.
I got it from another parent. I don't know.
And we were working on pulling up your number because you know what? Your son didn't know your number somehow.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not cooperative with you guys because y'all
Okay.
Okay, if the
Well, that
kids
sounds
were
like a
refusing to
parenting
give
issue.
numbers,
No,
then
it's not a parenting
that's an
issue.
issue,
It's a
but
sheriff, Flagler County issue.
I mean, if you're okay with your child not being cooperative with law enforcement, that sounds like a parenting issue.
He's not. He doesn't have to be cooperative with you guys. He can tell you who he is, and that's it. He doesn't.
He's a minor.
He's a minor. At that point, you need to contact the parent.
Are you Aiden's parents?
Got here, gave you the information you needed, and blew it out of proportion. This is on y'all. This is 100% on y'all.
And what did we blow out of proportion?
Putting a kid in the back of the car for no fucking reason.
You know what a Baker Act is,
And you heard what he said.
You know everything. You talking about Baker Act is.
Bro, why are you here? Because apparently,
Guys, shut the fuck up. Please. We're here.
Well, a lot of them have escalated this by themselves. I originally stopped them.
Okay,
They didn't
officer,
have any helmets
the
on.
guys
They're
in the
under
green
16 to
uniforms
put that
escalated
helmet
this a
on.
lot too.
All right, and then from there, they've all escalated it from there.
We received calls about disturbances involving them for like the last 2 hours. Ever since I came on shift, we having juvenile incidences. And we keep having to come out here and deal with them, causing disturbance to the peace and violating laws and all this rigmarole. I'm talking to him. Like I said, I've had better things. We have shootings going on. We have fights going on. Suicide.
Oh my God.
And here we are dealing with this, and parents trying to fight us for correcting their child that said they wanted to kill themselves. So now we can't do our jobs. So here we are doing this, whatever.
Okay, officer lecturer is getting such a D from me.
He doesn't have a license, but he can't get one until that citation is paid. 30 days to pay the fine, traffic court.
I'm still working on the paperwork.
Okay. Well, we can't hold him for that.
He is like half of what escalated everything.
Yeah, we do that.
For being in the lab.
They want to trespass him for being unruly.
So they're causing a ruckus at Lowe's, and the manager does not want them back. Listen, I haven't.
Are y'all parents coming or no? All right, get out of here. Y'all free to go.
My sister's on the way. Can I wait till she comes?
All right, cross the street.
Okay, so worth noting, the 3 kids that have just been sitting back there for like an hour at this point, keeping their mouths shut, saying nothing and staying out of it, they're getting let go with nothing. Their parents aren't even there. I don't know if their parents have even been contacted. Probably not, because the cop said repeatedly they haven't contacted anybody's parents. So, yeah, pays to keep your mouth shut.
You guys are welcome to be in
I'm still waiting for what the narration said. Somebody walked up and shoved the cop. Unless that was like meant to be earlier.
Understand? There's more than these guys riding bikes in Palm Coast. There's a whole community
Listen,
of bike
do you
riders.
think I want to be here and do this right now?
You don't. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
We got the calls.
Yeah, I really think that narration was talking about what we already saw. So I don't know why it's off by like 5 minutes.
Just chill out, guys, please. Look, I don't want to be here. I know my son rides his bike, and that's what they do.
Which one's your son?
This is my son.
Okay.
They have nothing better else to do in Palm
So I'm
Coast
gonna be
but to
honest
ride their
with you.
bikes.
Since I got here, this has been the one that talks and escalates it the most.
That's not true.
I taught him that, yo, you're a minor, and if you don't have to talk. But he talks a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, you guys are like, oh, this and that. He's a fucking minor.
Listen,
That doesn't give him a free pass.
no, I don't. So
Okay. No, you
so
don't.
all right, whatever. You're obviously the professional.
No, I'm not. You guys are professionals.
And 3 of the 4 of them acted like it.
On your bike. All right, you have him on your bicycle. Okay, wait to stay on the bike for it to make a payment. If you don't make a payment within 30 days, you'll be suspended. Have a good night. Well, suspended? Yeah, with non-existent license, they'll suspend it before he gets one.
Yep.
Yeah, he has to pay the fine.
I want it to happen. Don't worry.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. If you get tickets on your bike and stuff, it can affect your license, even if you don't have one.
You guys are good. I'll finish editing.
Yeah, you're good.
Who's your child?
Okay, so now that everything's calmed down, would you like to know what's going on?
Sure.
Okay.
I tried to find that out on the phone.
Yeah, and then what happened? Your husband attacked us. So what's happening is we got calls.
Please, you guys are ridiculous.
Okay, review the body cam yourself and file a complaint. Sue us,
I
whatever.
will. I want
So
everybody's badge number.
So the reason we were here is we got calls about children obstructing traffic and disturbing the peace.
Okay.
That deputy there observed them committing a traffic infraction, not having helmets on them when they're under the age of 15.
Okay, I understand all that.
Okay, well,
Okay.
you want the scenario, right?
I heard you over there, so please get.
Are you gonna interrupt me?
I am gonna interrupt you because I want to know.
Figure it out yourself. What's going on?
Okay, he should not have been the one to talk to her because he's the one who's been the most heated the entire time. And clearly she's already upset. So you want to put the calmest officer with her. And dude, seriously, you're going to be that flippin' like short-tempered and rude to her when you can say, yeah, she's being rude too. But again, one of these people is supposed to be a professional and should be able to handle it a lot better than this. Like, it's just, yeah, I don't like the attitude. I don't appreciate the, no.
You kind of got lucky. You're not going to take it today. Like I said, your dad, I stopped him once before. Okay, I've already warned him once. He was a helmet on his bicycle. On top of that, he lied to me that day about who he was with and what he was doing, which I found out later. I was gonna give him a ticket today because this is the second, third time I've dealt with him, but I'm gonna give him another warning today. He's been stopped by us more than once. So he's
jumping off the bridge.
I've stopped him. It's the bike issue because we thing is that we always get called about the kids on bikes almost daily. Stores are causing issues. They're going in front of traffic, with flipping cars off, stuff like that. It may seem like petty stuff, but every single day is an issue.
To be fair, as he's saying, we don't care generally if kids are riding their bikes without. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
But the issue is we've had like 4 or 5 calls involving them in all different areas of the city. You know what I'm saying? So we have to come out and investigate if a crime has occurred. And it takes us away from other resources. As these deputies, we have shootings, fights, suicide,
right now.
all going on, but we can't be there because we're here. Does that make sense? Again, we don't care if you don't have your helmet on, bro. We don't care. But you need to watch what you're doing and who you're handling.
Okay, so we've got like one parent
I get that, but
being a reasonable parent
Thing, but then on top of that, how
and
they're acting, stuff like that,
admitting his kid needs to
he didn't lie this
wear a
time.
helmet.
Yeah. So Malachi said he's gonna shoot himself and he wants to kill himself. So obviously we have a duty to act and we can't just let that slide. So he's being Baker acted.
But how do you know he means that? You have.
We can't.
It doesn't
deduce whether or
matter.
not he means it. We have to go. We have to make a good faith judgment.
Okay, so you release him back to the
No,
parent.
he's going to be Baker acted.
Where
It's safe at the hospital.
It is not.
I cannot in good conscience release him to you and risk him hurting himself later. I can't do it. I can't put my job on the line. So he's gonna.
The second part of that is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can release him from there.
After that, once I turn him over to the hospital, whatever their criteria is, I don't know what their policy is or the procedure. After they do their thing, do whatever you want. I don't care.
They'll release him.
That we have a duty to act if someone is a danger to themselves.
They're not going to admit a child with the parent
Baker act them.
standing there demanding they be
He's going to
released.
Halifax and Daytona.
Daytona. Really?
That's the only Baker Act receiving facility in the area.
Okay. And that's where you guys are headed now.
Yes.
The first thing I told them when I stopped out with them is I didn't do this, sign up for this job, pull over 14-year-old kids without a helmet on. This is not what I want to do. This isn't what I put this on for. But I'll be honest, there was so many calls today about them that I can't even tell you what occurred at the Lowe's. It started, Walmart's been calling, Zaxby's, tons of places, people that are driving on the street saying that they're running amok. And it's like, we got to do something. One, I told them exactly why I care about it the most is because they're crossing the street over here. People fly. Somebody did a burnout in front of them. They're like, go get them. And it's like, they're doing that right in front of a cop. Because imagine when we're not around, you're going to get hit and killed just like the other kids. And it's like, you got to be safe. You got to be more respectful. And I was trying to tell them the places to go and things to do to, one, not get in trouble, and one, to be more safe. And they're all laughing it off. And it's like, you got to do something proactively because I'll be honest, I don't want to show up on scene and see any of these kids, especially now that I know them, see them on the floor hurt or even worse. And it's like, then I got to come to you and have that conversation. And it's not good all the way around. It's not good for me, not good for them, not good for you. So there's reasons for the madness, but I mean, at the end of the day, do I want to start patrolling around and start pulling these kids over? No, but I want to prevent primarily those things. And then beyond that, if they're doing these things, I've seen it before. They start escalating to other stuff. And I mean, there's some bad eggs in the group, and they obviously know it. I could tell automatically when I'm talking to some of these kids which ones are the good eggs and which ones are not. It's like if you start hanging around the wrong ones, you're going to start ending up just like the rest of them.
We've had discussions about this. He's a football player,
Mm-hmm.
so he's got other things to look forward to, I hope.
Yeah, he's going to be told not to hang with these friends anymore.
That's embarrassing in and of itself. I mean, not even the consequences or anything like that. So, I mean, this, honestly, it became your lucky situation where you get to go away scot-free. Some of the other kids don't. But, you know, take this as a learning lesson.
Yeah, you're getting off today, but
like I said before, you're going to be in college soon. You're going to be driving. You'll be voting. You'll be doing all this stuff. And you're going to be paying adult consequences. Yeah. All right, so
yep.
Just be mindful about that.
Thank you.
That's what teenagers are.
And just
adulthood is closer than you think.
Take care. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably ride clear to Aria and all that. It's all in your bag. I mean, they would like to.
Help her with what?
Just put the bike and everything.
No, yeah, I will help her if you want to, but we can't let you out of
It's
that.
fine. I'm probably just gonna have to ride it home.
Yeah, just
be able to lift that in the back of the runner.
You have a truck?
I have a 4Runner.
Do you need help putting it in there? Would you rather? You'd rather not have any help from us, huh?
No.
What about me? Okay.
Okay, are we at the end of the video?
Okay.
Nope, sound went off.
But everything is out on the bed. Like,
I don't know.
You see my bag? Right?
She was taking it, she said, so I've not expected anything.
Okay. So you see everything on the hood, I'm pretty sure. Just put everything in the bag and just.
I'm gonna put everything in the car and then ride the bike home and then. Oh shit! Then I don't know how I'm gonna get back to the.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, one person taking 2 vehicles doesn't exactly work.
Okay, can I talk to my husband?
I need to write.
I'm not sure why they need her ID, other than they're like saying they're releasing the bike to her.
2 fingers. I got 2 fingers in both. They're not going to be comfortable, bro. Sorry.
Sheriff Rick Staley would later remark, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, noting the irony of being called to address the children's behavior only to be confronted by an unruly parent.
Ma'am, these are the keys. He had them on him and his
Not a fan of like sheriffs making public comments like that.
Harrington
Also
now faces
14 and he's
serious charges,
smoking.
including 3 counts of battery on law enforcement and aggravated assault for
3?
resisting arrest with violence. He was booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility and later released on bond.
What? Okay, we got some talking to do. Okay, there's so many things to address in that video, and I know this is super long, so I'm going to try to keep my thoughts short. As for him being charged with 3 counts of assault on an officer, hell no. Hell no. That is somebody being petty AF. I call him assaulting 1 officer a stretch. Now, do I think they couldn't have said they were detaining him till he calms down and then we can talk? Yes. That probably would have been the better thing to do. Should he have approached them calmer? Yes, of course. But again, one of these 2 groups is supposed to be professional. They're supposed to know how to handle people being upset. You cannot just arrest everybody who is yelling at you. Because I think the initial assault thing, I think that was mutual contact. I don't think the guy assaulted him. I think the cop overreacted, and I think he was looking for an excuse to arrest him before he even got there because of the interaction on the phone. Again, neither of those parents handled this well. They didn't. The only parent who handled this well was the guy at the end in the gray shirt next to the kid in the blue shirt. That parent handled this very well, though he was definitely getting annoyed with the cop's lecture towards the end. That's why he was like, okay, we're going to be going now. Because, yeah, it was too much. I get the cop's point about, yes, they need to be wearing helmets. Yes, they do. Did they all deserve a ticket for not wearing a helmet? Yes. Is that being also a little bit petty as a cop? Yes. If you have worn them, as these kids have apparently been worn multiple times, does that take down the level of it being petty? Yeah, it really does. It sounds like all these kids have been told multiple times to stop it with the not wearing a helmet, with the riding in parking lots, with the doing things at stores. And I get they have nothing to do, like the dad in the tiger shirt was saying, but that doesn't make it okay. And so, yeah, when the cops are getting multiple calls a day about this group of kids, if that's in fact true, they are going to have to do something about it at some point. Was this situation handled well? Some yes, some no. The original 2 cops in the blue uniforms that I believe are Fire County, because I believe there was the green uniform that said Flagler County. I may be confusing the 2. If I am, forgive me. The 2 cops in the blue uniforms, they were handling things absolutely fine. They both, I'm giving them both an A. It was hard to keep track of 4 different body cams because it was intercutting between all of them. So those 2 cops get an A because they were being reasonable. They were willing to let some of the kids go with a warning. They were trying to just get contact info and call parents. It does sound like some of the kids were either unwilling to give that info or weren't exactly truthful, which is not good. And that's definitely the kids making things worse than it needs to be. But teenagers are going to do that. They don't know anything. That's why they're teenagers. And also they don't want to get in trouble from mom and dad. So they're going to lie and try to get themselves out of it, not realizing that that's not going to happen. You got to expect it with kids. So you can't come down too harsh, really. As for the kid that said things about unaliving himself, Was he obviously just distressed in the moment? Yes. Did he still need to be taken to the hospital? Yes, quite frankly. Cops are doing the right thing. They're doing what they should. I know it's annoying. I know some people will see it that way, but it's also necessary. As for the mom and her level of heated, I don't have a problem with it. I'm glad that they didn't arrest her because I've definitely seen cops that would have, even though I didn't think that she gave them any reason. And the cop who tried to explain things to her, he A, could have done a lot better job. B, he shouldn't have been the one talking to her. And C, and you know the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about Green Shirt, Flagler County, Mr. We have shootings, we have unalivings to deal with, we got better things to do than your kids. He said it 4 times. 4 times, which makes me think this guy goes to that speech like a dozen times a day whenever he's annoyed that he's dealing with something minor. Well, officer, that's part of your job, so stop it with the lectures because it's ridiculous and you sound ridiculous the more you do it. And also, as I said, the 2 cops in the blue were handling things calm and fine, and the kids were mostly being calm and fine and respectful even. Not that I think being respectful is a requirement. I do not. Does it make things easier, and will cops go easier on you if you are nicey nice with them? Yes. Do I think they should be able to arrest you for running your mouth? No. In some places, can they? Yes. So keep that in mind. There can be consequences to running your mouth depending on where you are and who you're dealing with. So, yeah, that officer, he gets a D because he did multiple things wrong. 1, he escalated the situation several times. Coming up and saying, like, these 4 are delinquents and I've arrested you before and I've dealt with you before. And instantly just walking up to the group like he's in charge suddenly, even though he just got there, and saying everybody's getting a ticket, which I point out ultimately didn't happen. 4 of those kids got away with nothing. 4 out of 7. So only 3 of them faced any consequences. I don't like people walking up and making blanket statements because you don't know what's going on. And it's not fair to just say everybody gets in trouble just because you are here. I'm never a fan of that. You got to prove what somebody actually did, each individual person. In a large group, is that going to be hard? Is that going to take some time and actual effort? Yes. Is that your job? Yes. So please shut your mouth and do it. Don't just blanket statement be like, okay, I'm punishing everybody because I'm too lazy to figure out what actually happened or what I actually have proof of. Now, again, can you ding them all for not wearing a helmet? Yep, go right ahead. And if that's what they had done, I'd be shutting my mouth, but they didn't. And that's not what he was talking about. So I don't like that he walked up and decided that some of the kids were bad and some of them weren't. And I did hear the other cop at the end, the one that I gave an A to, saying the same thing. That some of these kids are like bad eggs, as he was saying. And you know what? They're all teenagers. Can't really make that choice yet. But some of them clearly have a history with the cops. Some of them don't. That could literally just be out of default or, you know, who got mouthy and who didn't. Because as we saw, 4 of them walked away with nothing tonight. So they could have walked away from other things before. So it doesn't mean they're little angels either. But they knew enough to keep their mouths shut, especially the 3 of them that literally, like, I think they said nothing this entire video. Those are the smart ones, by the way. Those are the smart ones. Because they got sent home with, I think, not even their parents being contacted. So they could really have escaped all trouble. Because we know in this situation, the ticket is nothing. It's the trouble you're going to get from mom and dad that's the problem. Though I suspect that at least 3 of the other children will not be getting any trouble from their parents because their parents thought that the cops were the trouble. I still don't know what the dad who is saying, like, how can my kid get a ticket on a bike that isn't his? I don't know what part of that he is not understanding. You know, just because it's not his bike doesn't mean he's not responsible while he's on it. So yeah, this whole situation is a big mess. Definitely could have been handled better in a lot of places. The other thing that I was really unhappy with was the amount of confusion between the cops. Because, as I said, like 4 or 5 times I would hear one cop say something and then it was directly contradicted by another cop. Or they were giving each other conflicting orders, or they were giving the kids conflicting orders or information. That's never a good thing. It's never a good thing when you don't have one clear person being in charge. And in this case, we have 2 different counties on the scene. Who is in charge? Whose county are you actually in right now, where you're standing? Because that's what matters. That's who has jurisdiction. And if you're from the other county, why are you there? So I'm not sure. Probably because those counties border each other and the kids have been like in both of them throughout the day. So both counties have been getting calls about them. And so green shirt guys heard like blue shirt guys say on the radio, hey, we caught that group of kids we all been getting calls about all day. So they decided to show up. Don't do that. Unless it directly involves you or you get called for backup, don't show up just because you can. Okay, you didn't get them. Somebody else did. Let them deal with it. You don't need to go there and deal with it just because you've been getting calls about them, but you didn't catch up to them first. And I have a feeling that's a little bit of what happened with Green Shirt, who earned himself a D. He just wanted to put these kids in their place because they annoyed him. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Do you agree with any of the kids' behavior? Do you agree with any of the parents' behavior? Do you think I'm too harsh on the cops? Am I too harsh on the kids or too easy on them or the parents? There's a lot of people involved in this. This situation went way out of control. But that is where we find ourselves. So I have been Insane Lane as well as a Canadian girl. If you are new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. And above all, leave your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear from you. Until then, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.